The Dallas Cowboys are headed for roster cuts at several key positions, which has one analyst wondering if the team could explore potential trades. Dallas would likely prefer to net something in return rather than releasing players and receiving nothing. USA Today's Katie Drummond outlined 5 Cowboys players who are in danger of being traded given their long odds to make the final roster. One of the more intriguing names is newly signed wide receiver Paris Campbell. Drummond is not convinced that the veteran is going to be able to make the 53-man roster. Campbell hasn't lived up to expectations, and his chances for making the Cowboys' 53-man roster were evaporated when the team traded for George Pickens, Drummond wrote in a June 23, 2025, story titled, 5 Fringe Cowboys Who Could Be Traded During Training Camp Before Roster Cuts. There may be a team that wanted to bring him in as a FA when he agreed with Dallas that is willing to send a conditional pick for the rights to him joining their fray. Paris Campbell was part of the Eagles' Super Bowl team in 2024. The addition of Campbell does feel a bit like insurance in case Dallas was unable to land a bigger fish to pair with CeeDee Lamb. Trading for George Pickens puts added pressure on the other Cowboys receivers heading into training camp. Campbell signed a 1-year, $1.3 million contract with the Cowboys during NFL free agency. Only $167,500 of this deal is guaranteed, per Spotrac, allowing Dallas to cut ties with the wideout without any financial ramifications. The receiver does have the advantage of being familiar with the NFC East. Campbell spent last season with the Philadelphia Eagles, posting 6 receptions for 30 yards and 1 touchdown in 5 appearances. Despite not being an integral part of Philly's offense, Campbell still is a Super Bowl champion. Campbell also played 12 games for the New York Giants in 2023. It is hard to imagine the Cowboys receiving much in return in a Paris Campbell trade. The challenge is Campbell's trade market is likely minimal as a player who is on and off the Eagles' active roster in 2024. Dallas would likely hope to land a future late-round draft pick, but it will be challenging to find a suitor. Campbell offers elite speed with a blazing 4.31-second 40-yard dash time at the 2019 NFL Combine. It is a major reason why Campbell was selected in the 2nd round by the Indianapolis Colts. As for Pickens, it appears the Cowboys' newest star receiver is already forming a bond with Lamb. Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer spoke glowingly about Pickens and also opened up about his growing relationship with Lamb. I think his excitement for knowing that we've added some pieces, which will add to the competition. It was cool to see a guy like CD be excited, Schottenheimer noted on May 29th, per The Athletic's John Machota. Those two guys' relationship is awesome. They're spending a lot of time together. I think it's great for CD to have someone like George. Not that George is a young player, but someone that GP really looks up to in CD. They obviously have trained some together. That relationship is really cool. I'm enjoying just kind of sitting back and watching it develop. Cornerback Stephon Gilmore is still a free agent, but the 34-year-old should find a new team before the start of the 2025 season. A former Defensive Player of the Year, Super Bowl champion, and 5-time Pro Bowler, Gilmore is not the lockdown force he was at the beginning of his career, but he is still a reliable starter. Starting and appearing in 15 games with the Minnesota Vikings last year, the cornerback helped the team go 14-3 with Sam Darnold replacing an injured J.J. McCarthy under center. Now taking his time to find a new team, star cornerback Jalen Ramsey's inevitable trade is likely causing a logjam on the open market. However, once the All-Pro finds a new team, Stephon Gilmore should see plenty of free agent interest. While just about every team in the league could use another cornerback, Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox believes the Carolina Panthers and Dallas Cowboys are the best fits for Gilmore. Gilmore is not the ball hawk and top-tier cover corner he was early in his career, Knox writes. However, he's still an above-average defender. Pro Football Focus graded him 94th out of 222 cornerbacks last season, while good ball skills, 9 pass breakups in 2024, and a willingness to add run support. Teams should view Gilmore as a starter or high-volume rotational corner, though he may only command a 1-year deal. Stephon Gilmore. On paper, the Dallas Cowboys have 2 reliable cornerbacks in Darren Bland and Trayvon Diggs. However, Diggs may not be long for America's team, as the cornerback has battled injuries throughout the past 2 seasons and carries a $12.59 million cap hit that only continues to rise over the next few seasons. With Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb already signing massive deals and Micah Parsons due for a record-setting deal, Diggs is a popular trade target. Dallas can save $9.65 million with a Diggs trade, but someone will need to start in his place. Stephon Gilmore makes as much sense as anyone, as the free agent is still an adequate option and has experience with the bright lights of Dallas. While he won't be a shutdown cornerback, he'd be the perfect CB2 for a team hoping to compete in one of the league's most competitive divisions. Homeward bound? Gilmore is a South Carolina native, so it only makes sense that he returns home for what could be his last professional season. After successfully building an offense that could support first overall pick Bryce Young last year, Carolina spent the past few months trying to fix their defense. Cornerbacks J.C. Horn and Mike Jackson will return, and the front seven should improve with a healthy Derek Brown, free agent Tershawn Wharton, and Day 2 draft picks Nick Scourton and Princely Umanmielen. Thanks to their weak division, the Carolina Panthers could compete for the NFC South crown if Young continues to develop. However, signing Stephon Gilmore as a free agent will only increase their odds of reaching the postseason for the first time since the Cam Newton days. Gilmore's presence would give Carolina 3 reliable cornerbacks, which is important in today's pass-heavy NFL where nickel defenses see the field more than ever. After the Dallas Cowboys traded for George Pickens, there is serious noise about America's team testing free agency waters even more. Getting Pickens was enough to put the Cowboys back on the map in the NFC East, but they are now linked to one of the most premier cornerbacks in the world. With questions surrounding the future for Trayvon Diggs, this brings up a golden opportunity for Jerry Jones to make the call to Jalen Ramsey. Cowboys linked with blockbuster trade for star CB Jalen Ramsey. They, the Cowboys, made 3 trades this offseason for players on rookie deals, Fowler said. Could they make a 4th trade for an NFL veteran who's on a bigger contract? Certainly, but they need cornerback help. I checked with somebody in Dallas. They said it's possible we might not be done. It's slow right now, but we could always be looking to add. The trade for George Pickens sent a message that Dallas means business this year. Trading for one of the best CBs in the game in Ramsey would confirm Jerry and Stephen Jones have legitimate Super Bowl aspirations. Cornerback is still a massive hole as Dallas enters their second week of OTAs. The depth chart looks good on paper, but Diggs could miss a chunk of the season following off-season knee surgery, and rookie third-round pick Siobhan Revel is coming back from his own ACL injury. As of this writing, Darren Bland, Kyer Elam, Kalen Carson, and Israel Mukumu are the only healthy CBs on the roster who played meaningful snaps last year. A Super Bowl champ, 3-time All-Pro and 7-time Pro Bowler, Ramsey is one of the most accomplished CBs in the game. He's terrific in coverage and underrated against the run. He'd be the perfect fit in any secondary, but especially in Dallas. Reports out of Miami claim Ramsey, entering his age 31 season, wants to play for a Super Bowl contending squad. The Dolphins do not fit that bill, but the Cowboys certainly would if they were to acquire the 10th-year veteran. Acquiring Ramsey, who is signed through 2028, would create a logjam at the position. It would put Dallas in a position to choose between Diggs and Bland next offseason. That is a cross that bridge when it gets here kind of problem, however. The front office should be all in on Ramsey.